All right, buenas and hafa day, everyone, and welcome to your Guam Congress building. I'd like to extend the warmest and dunkluna sidus maasi to all of you, and to thank my co-sponsors, all of the members of the 35th Guam Legislature, for joining us here today for this historic presentation of Resolution number 150-35LS. It's our honor to host you here today, our island's LGBTQ community leaders and organizations, in celebration and in honor of Pride Month and of the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots, which saw members of the LGBTQ community fight back against harassment from the Greenwich Village Police in June of 1969. This month also marks the 4th anniversary of the United States Supreme Court decision in Obergefell v. Hodges, a landmark civil rights case that made marriage equality the law of the land. On Guam, community leaders like you have shared our people's spirit of inafat maulik, that in the midst of adversity and discrimination, you choose to stand up for what is right and continue to do so as standard bearers in our fight for equality, a reflection of our island's traditions and our culture of inclusion. And just this past year, our island witnessed a historic win for our LGBTQ community as we elected the first openly gay lieutenant governor of Guam and of our nation. And I'm so pleased that he's here joining us today. Thank you. Community organizations throughout our island have dedicated their lives to improving the quality of life on Guam for our LGBTQ brothers and sisters. Throughout the year, GALA and their community partners serve our island by delivering direct services to those impacted by health issues such as HIV/AIDS, substance abuse, and suicide, helping others overcome difficult situations and build and maintain healthy lives. A few years ago, ISA Guam helped establish the first ever LGBTQ scholarship through the University of Guam and continues to do so as they support LGBTQ youth who are facing economic or family hardships. For many years, the House of Diosa and their supporters have created a space where LGBTQ community can celebrate Pride all year long and are instrumental in ensuring that trans people on our island feel accepted and loved. As we enter the month of Pride, we celebrate the leaps that we have made towards progress. Let us never forget those that have sacrificed and lost their lives in paving this path to progress. Those that have been shamed to closets, attacked, beaten, fired, or even killed because of who they are or who they love. Or those children who each and every day fall victim to suicide as shouldering the pain of shame, exclusion, and discrimination becomes too much for them to bear. There is still so much work to do, and we will do it together. We will get there because of all of you, because of your leadership, because of your courage, and most especially because of your example. As we celebrate Pride Month, may we continue to live our lives in service of the day when all are free to be who we are, no matter what we look like or where we come from or who we love. When we can dream big dreams and dream as openly as we want. God bless you all. God bless Guam, and happy Pride. Again, we want to just give the most warm and heartfelt and Dagluna Sujus Maasi to all of you for being here. And at this time, I'd like to call our former Speaker of the Guam Legislature, Speaker B.J. Cruz, to join myself and my colleagues as we read this resolution. Speaker Barnes?
It gives me a great honor and delightful pleasure to be the first to read resolution number 150-35 LS as introduced by Senator Régine Biscoe and all the members of Imina 35 na legislaturan Guahan relative to recognizing the Guam Pride Committee, Guam Pride Inc., the Guam Visitors Bureau, ISA, LGBT Guam, Guam's Alternative Lifestyle Association, and the House of Diosa for their ongoing work in promoting the social, economic, cultural, and political achievement of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ community of Guam as we join them on the observance of LGBTQ Pride Month during the month of June 2019.
Be it resolved by Imina 35 na legislatura Guahan, whereas this year marks the 50th year anniversary of the Stonewall riots in New York City in June 1969, when patrons of the Stonewall Inn resisted and fought back against police abuse and harassment, which is widely considered as the start of the modern civil rights movement for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender equality in the United States. And since then, the movement is commemorated each year during the month of June as LGBT Pride Month.
Whereas gay pride advocates work for equal rights and benefits for the LGBT community, and in 2015, progress was made in the island's LGBT efforts in the case of Aguero versus Calvo, which brought marriage equality to the U.S. territory for the first time. The landmark case Obergefell versus Hodges brought marriage equality nationwide in a 5-4 decision in the U.S. Supreme Court case, as well as the enactment of the Guam Public Law 33-64, the Guam Employment Non-Discrimination Act Agenda of 2015, introduced by Speaker Benjamin J.F. Cruz, and Public Law 33-65, the Guam Marriage Equality Act of 2015, introduced by Senator Narissa B. Underwood.
Whereas efforts to strengthen our families by recognizing and affirming our LGBT community members in our families, villages, schools, churches, workplaces, and under the law continues to progress. Whereas LGBTQ Pride Month is a special time with pride parades, picnics, parties, and other group gathering events that attract a number of individuals, and Guam held its first major LGBT Pride March on June 10th, 2017, which was led by Grand Marshal Speaker Benjamin J.F. Cruz, who decades earlier had led an impromptu LGBT Pride March with his partner Johnny and friends. And he made history as one of the only openly gay LGBT speakers of I Legislaturan Guahan in the country.
Whereas the Honorable Joshua F. Tenorio is Segunda Makatlahi Guahan, the Lieutenant Governor of Guam, is the first openly gay Lieutenant Governor and is the island's in the island's history, and is chosen to be one of the 2019 Grand Marshals.
Whereas the Guam Pride 2019 Committee celebrates this occasion that will begin with the first 2K, 5K Pride Run to be held on June 2nd, 2019, and that the 2019 Pride March and Festival that will be held on June 8th, 2019.
Whereas LGBTQ community members and their supporters continue to make history every single day in their social, familial, political, athletic, business, and religious affiliations in our community, including through LGBT organizations such as Guam Pride Inc., ISA LGBT Guam, Guam Alternative Lifestyle Association Gala, and the House of Diosa that support and advocate for the inclusion of the LGBTQ community year-round. Whereas the people of Guam are known for their kindness and compassion, and they recognize and support the fight for equality and the progress that has been made in creating an island society and a world that is more inclusive and accepting. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Imina 35 na Legislature in Guahan does, on behalf of the people of Guam, recognize the following organizations that help to improve the quality of life for our LGBTQ brothers and sisters each and every day. And we'd like to ask these representatives to please come up and join us and receive your resolution. The Guam Pride Committee, represented by the Honorable Joshua F. Tenorio, Lieutenant Governor of Guam. The Guam Pride Committee continues to advocate for protections for those in the LGBTQ community and organizing events that strengthen solidarity and promote inclusion. Thank you, Gov. Stand right here, and then we'll pass them on up. Guam Pride Inc., represented by Lacia Casil, organized the first annual Guam Pride 2K 5K and hosted the 2019 Pride March, which will be held this Saturday, June 8th, and other upcoming Pride events for this weekend, including the Pride Party and Pride Festival. Lacia also represents ISA LGBT Guam, and they have devoted their efforts to raising money for the LGBTQ scholarship with the University of Guam through Pride events in service of LGBTQ youth struggling with economic and family hardships. We'd also like to recognize Guam's Alternative Lifestyle Association, or GALA Inc., represented by Flo Mesa, Attorney Bill Pesh, and Reverend James, who are here today. GALA provides help to the LGBTQ community and their allies through direct service, support groups, and outreach, and working especially to empower Guam's youth. And last but certainly not least, the House of Diosa, represented by Wilhelmina Diosa, which has helped to create a space for those in the LGBTQ community to be prideful in their identities and providing a warm and inviting atmosphere where pride can be celebrated all year long. And I'll just add that it's so much fun to watch them. And with this, it gives me great pride, and I ask that the Speaker of Imina 35 na Legislature in Guahan and my colleagues please join me in presenting these resolutions. Congratulations.
Wow.
And at this time, before we break for some light refreshments, I'd like to just hand over the microphone to our Lieutenant Governor of Guam, the Honorable Joshua F. Tenorio.
Thank you, Madam Senator. Well, let me tell you that the first real trailblazer really for our community is BJ Cruz, as you know, and I worked for him for many years, and when we were preparing for some campaigns, I had an opportunity to go over some of the news articles surrounding his historic and at the time controversial appointment to the bench by Governor Ricky Berdalio in the 80s, a very different time where we saw some of the ugly stuff that periodically lurks itself into community come up, and really try and derail an effort to appoint him to the court. And he, of course, became family court judge, one of the strongest advocates for families and children on the island, and of course became the first Chief Justice in our country who was openly gay. And then, of course, it's been about 10 years now, I think, around that time since we saw some of the ugliness peek its head up again when we had the civil unions legislation that was introduced by Senator BJ. And at that time, a bunch of us were really the recipients of some unfortunate feelings from certain sectors of the community that were really not accepting of our choices. And here we are today, 10 years later, where the people of Guam have really flipped the coin and embraced progress and have elected its first female governor and its first gay lieutenant governor, 10 women in the Guam legislature, the gay public auditor. I mean, actually, he's the first person to serve in all 3 branches of government. And so we come together as a community to recognize that there's still a lot of work to do. We still have a large number of our kids that are alienated from their families. Suicide is a big thing. We have, on a day-to-day basis, people that go through discrimination. And we're grateful that in recent years we've passed some of the most forward-thinking anti-discrimination laws in our country, which make Guam a very unique and a very safe place for LGBT people to visit and to live. So on behalf of all of the people of Guam and the LGBT members, I'd just like to encourage all of the people that are still struggling with this to come out. Coming out means that you're able to stand in strength, be proud of who you are, but to also inspire people that may feel otherwise or may feel scared. And it's very important that we come out so that we can push back against the pendulum. And I just want to briefly say, right now we're seeing a big assault on women's rights throughout this country. And women's rights and gay rights are usually right neck and neck. And so I would just say that now's the time to continue to stand together and to celebrate where we are, but to stand together and make sure we push back from any movement to take away the rights and protections that we have as Guamanians and Americans. So thank you very much, Madam Senator, and appreciate your recognition.
And again, we thank our Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio. And it was my oversight, and I want to apologize and ask that a representative from the Guam Visitors Bureau, we have our Deputy General Manager, Bobby Alvarez, who's here joining us. I apologize, Bobby, this resolution is actually for you. So let's give Bobby and all the members of Guam Visitors Bureau a round of applause for the work that they do to promote Guam as the best place to live, work, and visit. And we want to encourage many folks of all colors to come and visit our island, and we applaud them for the great work that they do. At this time, I know he's going to be upset at me for doing this, but I want to also ask our former speaker to say a few words.
I want to thank everybody for coming today, and especially for the legislature for recognizing the progress that we are making on this island. And I ask all of you out there who are watching to please open your hearts and accept who your children are. And they have all the potential to achieve whatever they want. Right here. This is my nephew. And so please, we've made a lot of progress from the days when I had to hide in the closet out there as I listened to myself being vilified in the public hearing room to electing an openly gay lieutenant governor. So Guam has made a lot of progress. We have a lot more to do, and so thank you. And Viva Pride, Viva Gay Liberation on Guam.
Viva! Viva!
We're going to pause and take a quick group photo, but before we do that, I just want to make a few quick announcements. The senators of the Guam legislature have also provided refreshments for all of those who've joined us today, so we want to thank you for your participation, and everybody watching at home, we also want to thank you for tuning in, and I want to thank my colleagues for providing the refreshments outside. We also, in continuation of Pride Month, we will be hosting here at the Guam Congress Building. I know that Gala will be doing an outreach tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we want to invite the public to participate. If you have any questions about the services that Gala offers or any questions at all, please feel free to come and join us at the Guam Congress Building. And so with that, we again want to thank you for your time, for your participation today, and all of the work that you do to support our community and all of the beautiful colors that come with it. So, Situs Ma'asi and Viva Pride. Viva Pride! Viva! Viva Guam!
Viva!
Situs Ma'asi.